Now for the real deal New England feel.
I went off the rails. My wife told me I would be ashamed of myself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Corso and Catone.
Welcome to Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Corso. Catone is here. Joe's with us. Joe, you with us this week, or
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Are you still in the brain? Is your brain still overseas?
Well, I drank enough to make it mush, so it's coming back. It's coming back.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Well, Joe's sort of with us in the booth, and you are watching us on YouTube, listening on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, anywhere you podcast. And when you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, give us that thumbs up, hit that like button. Right? That's what we want. Leave a comment. Anything's on the table. We can let Joe know, how great a job he's doing over here. And, calling in and talking about phoning it in from London. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But make sure you subscribe and do that. And you can reach us in Heated Hotline, 855-313-PATS, P-A-T-S. It's a message line 24/7. Anything's on the table. Have a take. Joe will pick one, perhaps. Maybe it'll be yours. Or you can email us in our mailbag, corso.catone@gmail.com. We've got a good one. We're going to go in Weekly Rewind. We're very excited to go back and talk about the Buffalo Bills win. Patriots going up to Buffalo and winning that game 23-20. So we'll talk about that in Weekly Rewind. I'm going to hear from Mark in Catone's comments. You never know what he's going to bring, so make sure you're sticking around for that. And Yankees versus Red Sox. Wah, wah. Wow.
Yeah.
Both of those,
So, Chris, I was on the phone with you today. That may be what my interaction today in the car. Maybe that'll be my Catone's comment next week.
Well, that's news then. We'll hear that from Mark when he comes up. Stick around. And in B's and C's, we're going to go quick B's and C's. We're going to talk just a little bit of Bruins quickly. If we have time, it may get cut. We'll see. I don't know. But, gentlemen,
hey,
how are we doing this week? Welcome back, Joe. Seriously.
Thanks.
Joe, do you enjoy yourself out there?
Oh, my God. It was crazy. We had a good time. Well, yeah, we went out to the Oasis concert, the Oasis Live 25, and they were doing, the band Get Back Together. And so we saw them in London. It's awesome.
Should I know who that is?
Yeah, you should know by this point. You actually do know. You've heard all their songs. You've heard them on the radio. You just need to hear them.
Don't know it's them.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. Well, right. I mean, unless it's from
75.
Jesus.
Then,
how's the weather out? How's the weather, Joe, out there? All right.
It's the same as it is over here.
Right. So you want to talk about the weather in London, or do you want to talk about the New England Patriots?
Let's talk about the Patriots. Joe's in London time anyway.
All right. Let's do a Weekly Rewind, and let's do it right now. Going back through the week. About a Weekly Rewind.
Drake Maye made quite a statement for himself. The first down throw at the 43 is caught. Brought in by Stephon Diggs.
Yelling on the sideline, I want more. We need more.
Maye rolling that way, pointing, throwing towards Diggs for free. And he's got it 5. Stephon Diggs kept working. Veteran play by the second-year quarterback.
Drake passes to Ramani, runs to the left side. Touchdown! Patriots! That's a statement big boy drive right there.
And again, Chris, Maye out of the pocket.
Intercepted. A diving hit for New England. Down his feet, Marcus Jones.
Drake Maye, what a play! Wow!
You have to be kidding me. If you want to be the man, you have to beat the man, and he beat the man tonight.
Right down the middle, Borregales nails it, and the Patriots take the lead. And the last of the unbeatens has fallen in the NFL. The Bills have lost at home, and the New England Patriots let everybody know they are here.
And that, of course, was a compilation of all the highlights of that game, courtesy of NBC and 98.5, the Sports Hub, the call of the game by Zolak and Sosi, and, of course, Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth and company. 23-20, the Buffalo Bills lose to the Patriots in Orchard Park. Oh, what a night that was.
That was their last, I think, Sunday night or primetime game in Orchard Park. Imagine.
Good. Screw them. The lovable losers, the Bills. F off. That's what I say.
This, I had it. I called it first, and then I changed it when we redid our predictions to a loss.
You did, Joe.
Thank God you did.
Thank God, because he would have never let us live that down, Chris.
Listen, I don't think the Buffalo Bills fans are going to be taking out any type of, billboard on Route 1 this year. I don't see that happening.
Nope.
No. So good. All their whiteout and all their stupidity up there. Excellent. All right, Mark, let's discuss this. And let's start with the offense, and let's start with Drake Maye. Because that's where it starts and stops, I think. He was 22 of 30, 273 yards, no touchdowns, but no interceptions either, no fumbles. He added about 12 yards rushing, so he wasn't running the ball a ton. But I think the big thing was that he was 13 of 14 in the second half.
Yeah, he was red hot in the second half, Chris. He did everything that he had to do. He protected the ball, rolled out, and the rollouts, Chris, a couple of them were designed rollouts, but a lot of them were just him getting out of the pocket, things that you said you want to see him be able to do, and he did it.
Yeah, I mean, he looked to me, that's a tough environment. Now, at first, his first half wasn't, I think he was like 9 of whatever the hell he was, he missed maybe 4 or 5 passes in the first half. He wasn't as sharp. He looked a little bit,
rushed at times, right?
Rushed, yeah, sped up, I guess.
Sped up. That's
the word you gave me the night when it was happening. That he looked a little sped up that night, so a little bit uptight. But like Booty was open once. He kind of hit a little panic there. He didn't hit him. I think he was Booty was wide open on the left sideline.
Might would have been a touchdown if he
got the ball out. I think he was, I think he took a sack there, but he
really wasn't looking upfield to make a play. And I told you that night, Chris. Yeah, we criticized you and I were like, oh, he's gonna hit Booty there, but I think they're telling him, Chris, on the road, go down, don't force something, ball manage, protect the ball, don't get hit from behind and fumble, go down. If he'd wait an extra second, he probably sees Booty come clean, but I don't think they cared. I think they wanted him to do exactly what he did, Chris, after what happened in the Pittsburgh game and the Raider game. You know what I mean?
Well, his instincts took over in the second half.
They did.
And I thought McDaniels' play calling for him in the first half. I thought May did a better job than McDaniels this week.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of stuff May did was off schedule.
Yeah, it was.
I think some of it didn't have to be. I think that he did it, some of it on his own. That, like, for example, in the second half, that pass that he kind of rolled out of the pocket, it was a max protect situation. The pass down to Diggs to the 5-yard line where he kind of motions
him to go. Yep.
To go. Yep. Well, that was a max protect situation. It was a 2-man route. That's it. Diggs on one side, and they were blanketed downfield. And if he just stepped up in the pocket, I think it was Booty on the other side he had coming open on a deep in cut, and he was open. And I think if he just kind of steps up, that's the higher percentage throw. Instead, he kind of creates his own pressure there. I mean, you're in a max protect. I mean, you're getting the protection, rolls out, motions over, and makes a throw that's a more high.
That was the steal.
Then.
Yeah. To steal one of Zolak's phrases, that was a big boy throw. That's for sure.
It was a big boy throw, and when you see it from the end zone view of it being thrown down, my God, he puts it in a perfect spot. But again, you won't. I mean, if we're nitpicking here, I'd rather him sit in the pocket, step up, make the high percentage throw, and I think hopefully that comes in time. But man, I mean, he took over. His instincts took over. His athleticism took over in this game, and he just let it rip. I mean, this kid was not going to get beat that night.
No. And Chris, he even ran a couple of times, like for first downs, or like picked up 5, 6, 7 yards when it could have been sacks or losses. So, he didn't necessarily make the big run, but he picked up chunks of yards small chunks of yards that kept the chains moving, or at least, moved the ball, kept the ball moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, Buffalo was doing some things. I mean, they were disguising zone looks and man looks all night long. And the beauty about what happened was he was not, he didn't seem flustered by it. He didn't seem confused by it and throw himself. He didn't like the guy on the other side of the ball. When we get to the defense, we'll talk about that Marcus Jones pick.
Yep.
Because they fooled him a few times.
Because you got some good insight into that, Chris. Everyone kept saying what a great play it was by Marcus Jones, and it was a good play. But you have some serious critiquing of Allen on that play, which a lot of people didn't do.
No, and we'll get to that. But as far as May goes, yeah, I mean, he did a lot of big boy throws, and that throw with him getting yanked to the ground by that 325-pound lineman, and he just kind of now, do you want him doing that every time? Because that ball could easily go to somebody else. You know what I mean? That could easily be turned over, but still, to make that play, it's and
no,
so I mean,
listen, and of course they fumbled a little bit. I know we're talking about May, but the fumbles drove you nuts again with Stevenson. Yeah, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought May obviously he was the best player. He was the best player on the field. Diggs was probably, we want to talk about Diggs now, okay? But after the game, it was interesting to hear what Vrabel had to say about, and May had to say.
I think just a really gutty performance from Drake. Really just continue to enjoy watching him grow and lead this football team. And, it was good for us to again, would love to have a win by 2 scores, but being able to come back and execute in a critical situation, take the clock down, and win it on our terms.
Shoot, I was just trusting the guys around me. Trust those guys. I grew up
like amped up
my
all
dad
the time.
Always said,
basketball
or baseball, if it's the last play or the last shot, with the ball in my hands. So I'm not going to lose that mindset, and I'm keep that mindset my whole career.
I was just so proud of him, coming in here and leading the team. Being a young quarterback can be hard sometimes, and, that's why you have a supporting cast. Running backs making plays, receivers making plays, and let them know that you got his back. So I was just super proud of him. He has a good approach during the weekend. Attach yourself to the process and not the results.
That was Vrabel, May, and Diggs, respectively. So let's get to this connection. Okay, Stevenson fumbled the ball, and he stuck with them. He then had 2 good touchdowns. I mean, I could have ran those in, but so I again, I'm still not. I understand. I want to talk about that. On the other side, when we talk about the defense and we talk about coaching a little, I want to get into that and what I think really he's doing, Vrabel, because you and I are scratching our heads. Diggs. Well, okay, let's listen to it.
Bootleg left, throws it back, caught by Diggs. Side steps around Johnson, runs right to the 40, turns upfield, tackled past the 45.
Diggs makes 2 guys miss, and it's a 1st and 10 at the 45.
A 2nd down and 9 coming up from the Bills' 36. Deep drop by May, play action. A blitz coming. Drake rolls right, wrecking traffic. Off balance, throw to the end zone. Caught by May. Receiver Diggs at the 5. He made the grab at the 5, and he's tackled out of bounds. Great work by May off platform.
What a catch. What a battle by Diggs downfield, splitting 2 guys in coverage, and he catches it as he's looking at the sideline, makes the catch, gets both feet in. He is feeling it, man.
Drake Maye waits on the snap on a 2nd down and 11. He takes it. He looks to the middle. He throws it to Diggs. He runs away from the defender. Hangling right to the 20. To the 15, to the 10. Diggs across the 5. Tackle from behind. 1st and goal to go.
He wanted that. He wanted that touchdown so bad.
So that was a little bit compilation of May. There was a couple more, but May to Diggs. Okay, Mark, let's talk about this.
Let me ask you a question before you get into it. So I want you to answer once you get through it. Do we have a one, and do we have a new leader? So
that was going to be my question to you, Mark.
Do we have a 1? No, he's a 1. Okay, let me preface it. He's a 1 on this team because that's what we have. But in the definition of a true 1 wide receiver, Chris, and to answer your question, Joe, no, he's not Chase. He's not Jefferson. He's not even the rookie from Tampa Bay, Abuka. He's not Brian Thomas Jr. He's not
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. He's not Jackson Smith. He's not Smith Najiba from these guys run by guys. They're doing it, things, extraordinary things. Listen, moving the change. Is he getting in space? Is he finding space? Is he getting in sync with May? Absolutely, he is. A number one receiver on that ball where he got tackled at the 5 scores a touchdown because they would win.
He hops through that. He hops through that and right into the end zone.
He goes through that seam, he scores, right? Go on, touchdown.
Yep.
That's Jefferson, Chase, one of those guys. That was a touchdown. So not to say on this team, yes, he is a 1, but he's not really in the true sense a 1. But listen, compared to what we've had the last several years, Chris, I'll take it. I will take him. The kid, to answer your other question, Joe, yes, he's becoming the leader of this team. Yes, he absolutely is. And we were concerned about that, Chris, in training camp. How would he mesh? He's becoming a leader of this team.
First and foremost, your emotions, coming back to Buffalo.
I was excited. I kind of spoke on it a little bit, for being nostalgic, doing the drive-in. Came in a different interest this time, but, I was happy about it, and I just was happy to be back playing football. It's easy to get kind of lost in the moment while you're out there, but just try to remain focused the whole time and, be there for my teammates.
What was that environment like?
It was lit, prime time. I played here before. I've been on the other side.
They say lit.
Lit. It was just electrifying, and I knew that it was going to be a test for us. Obviously, with the guys that we got, and we all new to each other. I think 9 new starters compared to 11 on offense. So going into a hostile environment, and the biggest thing is just the fundamentals and being violent. You know what I'm saying? Be the aggressor. It's going to be a hostile there. It's a great football team. So try to take the fight to them.
And that was Diggs after the game. Yeah, he's a leader of this team.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously he was motivated for this game. I get it. But what he was doing, you heard that that interview with him pre-game with Melissa Stark.
Oh, he was ready to roll.
Broadcast. He was ready to roll.
Ready. Yeah.
But the way he was behaving, Joe, I know why you're asking this question. Throughout the game, he was on that sideline. He was in defensive huddles. He was in offensive line huddles. He was in, everybody special teams huddles, getting guys going, telling them we need more from you.
You know who used to do that, Chris?
Well, Edelman used to do that, and Brady used to do that.
And Brady used to do that, right? 2 guys who were leaders on this team, right?
Yeah.
Brady would go over to the defense and say, "Come on, boys, let's go. Get your heads out of your ass. Let's go." Right?
Yeah.
He used to tell them, right?
Yeah, and you saw that out of Diggs, and
you saw that out of Diggs on Sunday.
So is he a number 1 for everything they need him to be? Yeah, he's a 1. I mean, he's a 1 for them. He's not a number 1 in the sense. I agree with everything Mark said. If he can keep giving you this. Yeah, I mean, he's to me, he's the best 2 then, or one of them, if he's going to give you these kind of numbers every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm interested to see, Chris.
He's going to have the touchdowns. That's what true number 1s have.
True number 1s have touchdowns. Yes, they do. They have that's a real good point, Chris. Yeah, that's a good point. And I didn't mention that. That's a good point.
Well, you did. You said he didn't get in the end zone.
Yeah, but the true, but here's the other thing, Chris. I want to see Joe, he's becoming the leader in this team. Is he a 1? I want to see how he comes out against New Orleans. And can he follow up that energy and that excitement? And is he animated? Is he really going to be the leader? Or is it just because he went back to Buffalo and he wanted to stick it to him? You're at New Orleans, a team you probably should beat. How does he come out of the gate this week, Chris, is what I want to see. And I think that'll be telling as a whole team, but specifically him, especially based off, what Joe asked, because I think those were 2 great questions, Joe.
Yeah. So to me, offensively, that was the story, and guess what? You don't hear any names like Campbell or any of those guys. You know why? Because the offensive line played pretty good. They played pretty good.
They did.
Under those circumstances. There was some moments, but otherwise they played good. I will say this, and we're going to move on. They got to figure out a way to run the ball. And tomorrow in the Pats Nation, we'll talk about that a little more, about their need to be able to run the ball better than they are. But, man, going up to Buffalo, that offense looked good. I think McDaniels has it humming. I don't think he's getting enough credit for it. I don't from internally. But he's got that kid playing well, and he's got the whole offense playing well. And I look forward to more. We want more of it. But this portion of Weekly Rewind was presented by the Pats Nation, Sundays, 8 a.m. Hey, listen, we're the first pregame show of the day. Tomorrow, make sure you're tuning in. We're going to have our pregame thoughts on the Saints game and that trip down there to New Orleans and see if they can avoid a hiccup there and win that game. But when we come back, going to stay in Weekly Rewind.
Sunday, all whites.
All whites. We'll talk about that for a brief second, too. That's a little, that's different. That's a new look, too. So we'll talk about that and so much more. No flipping.
Sundays are for football. And here in New England, that means it's the Pats Nation with Corso and Catone. Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m.
He takes the snap. He ducks to his right. Drake Maye has a first down as the play stands, but a flag is thrown.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
The umpire.
Before the snap, false start by the offense number 59. Patarian roll. Third down. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 94. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Helmet to helmet.
Yeah, and the ball's well out of his hand, too. And then he also
Crown
down on the quarterback.
Crown and helmet. Crown and helmet on the chin.
It's all of it.
Every time.
It's all the above.
This is 30 yards and 30-plus yards of penalties.
A couple of young defenders for the Patriots. Farmer, a rookie, who's been playing well.
He plays it perfectly. I mean, it's blown up by Landry. He's down on one knee. It's a good call. It's player safety at that point, too.
Parents, defense number 51.
I was nuts during this drive.
Gibbons was trailing James Cook.
Yeah, it's a push out.
He shoved him toward the sideline.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Gibbons trying to recover in coverage. The mismatch there was.
You were very excited this whole game. You were nuts the whole game. You were really amped up. So I gotta say, I mean, him and I always get animated during the games, but I was kind of subdued. I will say, and all kidding aside, I actually was pretty subdued Sunday night. You were amped right up from the get-go. Like from the opening kick, you were amped up.
I was yelling. I was angry. I was yelling about commercials, certain commercials. I'm like, get them off the screen. Oh, yeah. They were
Joe, he was out of his mind on Sunday.
They were showing this nice family, this nice Buffalo Bill fan family that had their kid and named the kid after Josh Allen. And I'm yelling, get them off that line. Give a shit about this family. Get them out of here. I'm yelling like a nut job. Because I felt that you could feel they had a chance to, they could do something and win that game right off the bat. You just felt it, and you're like, I want to seize that opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
Defensively, Mark, we heard that compilation of penalty calls. That was on the last drive that Buffalo took, either tied it or took the lead.
They took the lead.
On that drive, and you gave them like 30, 40 yards of penalties on that drive. It's stupid things, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the defense, because it's, when you look at the numbers from this game, Buffalo had 363 yards total offense, a lot of yards. They allowed 245 yards passing, 118 yards rushing. Buffalo was like 5 of 9 on third down. They controlled the clock, 34 minutes. So New England wasn't getting off the field on third down. I keep going back and forth on how do you think they performed?
So I'm going to say this to you. I think they performed all right, but I'm going to say this, which I don't think there's been a lot said about this. Buffalo bailed you out too.
Oh, yes.
Because Buffalo had a ton of penalties, Chris, and there were some plays on offense.
Buffalo had 11 penalties for 90 yards.
They had on offense. They had also false starts, holding,
alignment issues,
illegal formations, issues. So Buffalo, you mentioned 363 yards. You said,
yeah,
they should have been over 400 yards.
Yes,
you know what I mean. So did the defense play well? Yes, because I think, Chris, you still were playing Josh Allen. I'm going to say something. You're not going to like it. For what they asked him to do, I think Tavai played well Sunday. For what they asked him to do. There were some plays where, yes, it was the old Tavai. I get it, Chris. You even said
his first play of the game, he blew the edge.
Listen, I just prefaced it by saying He did some things that he always usually does. However, I am going to say this. You even slipped on Sunday in the second half and said, Tavai's not playing bad. What the hell am I talking about? You said. Then you caught yourself. You caught yourself.
He did make a couple of plays, but I don't, again, he's a role guy. He's not going to be this guy that,
No.
But it just goes to show you, I wanted to highlight all those penalties. Look, they are what they are.
Sides.
Okay, they are what they are. Gonzalez being back has made a difference.
Absolutely has.
The problem with Gonzalez is he's not one of these flashy kind of guys. So you don't even know what's happening. More like a Gilmore, that kind of temperament.
Yep.
He's quietly, but he had a real good game. Now, I don't think Buffalo has anything on the outsides. I think Coleman stinks.
During the game, Chris, and you said, Mark, we've been criticizing our receivers. What the hell does Buffalo got? You said to me,
Shakur and
you really don't think of
Coleman.
It because they win every week. But then when you really think about it, Jesus Christ, what do they got in that receiver room? Davis and Gonzalez absolutely should have shut them down.
Yeah, which leaves the middle of the field.
Okay.
Which is the problem with this team. Now,
Go for it.
I think the corners played great. I think the three corners, including Marcus Jones, played really, really well. Spillane, Ellis, Gibbons when he was out there, Tavai, the safeties. Hawkins, I thought, had a terrible game. Okay? They have a serious problem in the middle of this field. It's not a coincidence. We said it coming in. What are they going to have to do to win this game? They're going to have to control two guys on offense, and that's the tight ends, and they didn't. Yeah. They couldn't control those guys, and that's a problem moving forward. And I'm trying to see their numbers right now receiving. But Kincaid had 6 catches, 108 yards. Knox had 2 catches. So between the two tight ends, they had like 120 yards receiving and 8 catches.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
The tight end position. And those guys aren't Bowers. You're not talking about Bowers from Vegas here.
No. And that's going to continue to be a problem. And you know what, Mark? There's not a lot we could do about it now. This is what they are. Spillane, for what he is, he's a good player. Yeah. But he's not he's not a speed guy. He's not a guy that can get out of his flat feet and get across the field. He's just with these receivers and running backs and things like that. And I think you said it, you hit it on the head. To me, Josh Allen, he made some big mistakes in this game.
So, Chris, you mentioned Marcus Jones, and Marcus Jones has the interception.
Yeah.
The big interception. Made a good play, Chris. Made a good play. However, why don't you break that down, that play? Because you were like, Mark, Jones definitely made a good play. However, Josh Allen ain't getting the critique he should be getting either.
Right, and let's not forget that that's a red zone turnover.
Yeah.
They turned the ball over in the red zone twice, and they turned it over in the Patriots red zone once, and it allowed for an easy score for New England. So, pump the brakes on how well the Patriots went and go in there and just take it from them. Buffalo gave it. Yeah, that play, Mark, it was a nice play call from the defensive staff. It was a cover 2 look. Most people think that was cover 2. The safety was over the top, and Marcus Jones just was playing underneath in zone. That's not what it was. What this turned into was a cover 1. Okay? This was man across the board with one safety over the top. And Josh Allen read it wrong. He saw cover 2, and he thought he had that in cut, that coming across the top there with Marcus Jones covering that. He thought he was going to have that splitting the two safeties. But on the snap, they came down, the safety dropped back, and you had a linebacker covering a low hole, and you had the safety covering the high hole in zone, and everybody else was man coverage. The guy that was open on that play was Cooks. Wide. He was open being covered by, I think, a safety or a linebacker, and that was where the ball needed to go. And Allen looked there and then didn't like it and went deep. And Marcus Jones had the wherewithal to understand he had that receiver man on. And he was trying to catch it up to him, to that route. He wasn't under it. He wasn't on his shoulder. He was trying to catch it. And when he realized he had the safety behind them and deep help, That's when he was able to undercut that throw and pick it off. It was a hell of a play by Jones, but it was a hell of a play call by the defense. But that was cover one. That was man coverage in that. I was impressed with some of the play calling on the defense.
And Allen, you think didn't realize even what they were in.
He got fooled. He got fooled more than once in this game. You could see it. He patted the ball a lot in this game. He didn't know where to go with the ball a few times. So I thought credit the defense and the staff for coming up with a good plan.
And we mentioned, people got to listen to Corso Catone when we break these games down, because you and I both mentioned last week on Corso Catone, we said they're going to have to disguise what they're in and drop guys back and do some different things if they want to be competitive in this game. And that's exactly what they did, Chris. Maybe they were listening to us.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. But that's okay. That's all right. Mark, are they buying into this? I know we're going to go over on this one, but I want to, because are they buying into Vrabel right now?
Yeah. Yeah, they
I mean, obviously they're buying into Vrabel.
They're buying into Vrabel, Chris. And a perfect example of that is Ramondre Stevenson. And they will, to stay on the field, because listen, Vrabel's got his players back. I'm with you. I love you. I'm with you. We need you. You're gonna go back out there. You're gonna fight through, right? We're a team. We're a family. We're a team. People screw up. You're gonna get back on the horse and you're gonna do it again. And that's and he didn't. A lot of coaches would have took some pop shots at Gonzalez for being out as long as he was. And he didn't. He said, listen, everybody heals differently. Everybody's different. We're just looking forward to getting him back on the field. And so yeah, Vrabel, players are buying in, Chris, because of, I think, that type of mentality that he has. And listen, that may play well if they start winning games. That may play well come free agency. Guys may want to come and play here for him.
That's a great point. This is what he had to say about Stevenson. We'll get to that point.
Yeah, I think anybody that knows me knows I have a great deal of patience. We need everybody. Everybody's role is vitally important, but also, we got to protect the identity, and part of that identity is the ball. I think it's just a fine line of, making decisions, and all our backs are going to play. They're all going to contribute, just as the same way as the ball finds different guys, and when Drake throws it, we'll need everybody throughout this season.
He's giving us the answer right there. He's telling everybody, but nobody's picking up on it. Nobody wants to hear it. We're going to need everyone. I mean, he's telling you people out there flat out, we are a flawed talent football team.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have the friggin' horses. So, Mark, and you and I have been ripping our friggin' what's left of our hair out. Okay. Trying to understand how this guy can be an apologist. Yeah, right. He can be an apologist, right? For the defense, and be an apologist for the fumbling problems. And why isn't he benching Stevenson? Why are we seeing him? And obviously Gibson's going to be out now for the season. That's terrible. I felt so bad.
That's a big loss, Chris.
And I felt bad. The kid was crying and had tears in his eyes, and that's a tough thing to see. But so we wish him a speedy recovery. But the point is, he understands. We're ripping out. We're like, what the hell? Why doesn't he bench this guy? And then what? He understands. See, look, and then the bulb finally went off. It was either in your head or my head.
Somebody's head.
On Sunday night late after this game.
It was probably you crazy nut. You ended up rewatching the whole damn game. You didn't sleep, I don't think.
No, I didn't sleep that night. But what I'm saying, though, is he's sitting there saying, look, we're not there yet. We don't have the horses yet. We just don't have the players. That's why I know Elliott Wolf's going to be gone, because I know everything that guy did was junk, and Vrabel knows it. And so he's sitting there looking at guys like Spillane and look at the guys they brought in and saying, hey, okay, well, we're okay, but we've got a long way to go talent-wise on this team. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get on these guys. I'm going to bench these guys. I'm going to discipline the hell out of these guys. No, I'm getting anything. This is all I'm going to be able to get from these guys. So instead of doing that, I'm going to get in these guys' camp. I'm going to get in there. He's thinking down the line. I'm going to get behind these guys And Mark just said it and hit it right on the head. Because what's coming up in the offseason?
Free agency.
And you know the guy, you know the league, and you know the way these guys are. And you think for 1 second, right now the Patriots are the hottest team in football. And you know full well that free agents are going to look at this situation and say, I saw Stevenson suck and fumble the ball, but he had his back. That's a coach that's got their back.
Yeah.
I want to go there. So
yeah,
it's actually a really smart thing he's doing then, isn't it?
It is. And you know what, Chris? You know what also hit me when he said, we're going to need everybody throughout the season. We need everybody. Everyone's going to have to contribute. I also thought of a guy like Chisholm, who hasn't played yet.
Right.
But from all reports, he's doing all the right things.
Yeah.
You know, the wide receivers coach says, you know, his time will come. He's learning. He's learning everything. You wouldn't say his time will come if he wasn't ready to play. They're just waiting. Douglas is another perfect example, Chris. The comment he made last week about his blocking. He made one catch last week against Buffalo. You know, I think come week 10, 11, Douglas gets nicked up. Something happens where he can get Chisholm on the field. You're going to see Chisholm get on the field, and Chisholm could be a weapon if they potentially get themselves into a wild card position, Chris. When he says everyone will contribute, I think he's also included in that, Chris. There's no way you're going to keep this kid inactive for 17 weeks. You can't.
No. So again,
I even put him into it.
Yeah, so what he's doing is working. What they're doing is working. It was a hell of a game. It was a hell of a win. Now let's see if we can stack the wins because the schedule sucks coming up. And tomorrow on the Pats Nation, we're going to talk more about that. But Weekly Rewind was presented by Corso Law Group, corsolawgroup.com. Hey, we come back. Buckle up. Catone's Comments is next.
No one ever thinks. No one ever thinks they will be in need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Call or go online to corsolawgroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help.
Time for Catone's Comments!
Okay. So, listen, this has been a real interesting week around football. We've been talking about the Patriots.
News from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We have breaking news, Mark.
4 o'clock, Tar Heel turmoil. New examples of a struggling football program under Bill Belichick at UNC. All of it coming after WRL's Pat Welter first broke the story of a divided locker room, backdoor benefits, and a potential rules violation. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Haggerty.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. We have full team coverage
Ashley!
on the fallout. In the last 24 hours, sources are revealing new information about what's happening behind the scenes.
WRL's Pat Welter was the first again to break this story, and that's where we begin tonight. Pat, what are your sources telling you?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I mean, I'm just kind of continuing to work the phones here, continuing to follow along with this story. And I want to share a quote that I got from a parent of a player this morning who said their son doesn't like going to the facility right now because it is so toxic. So what I'm learning today is that we have new examples of a divided locker room, a serious injury to one of Belichick's most prized recruits, and a report from Tar Heel 24/7 where decision makers at UNC are looking into a possible exit strategy, a story we are working to confirm.
So, Mark, we're preempting Catone's Comments. This is now your Catone's Comments tonight. Go.
Oh, Joe, that's cheap, Joe. Come on. You let that happen. You're the producer.
We need some rules here.
This is going to show everyone how good Mark actually is. Go.
All right, listen. All right, we'll preempt it. Listen. Okay, listen. Let me just think a few minutes. I got to think now. Let me pull something up here. Hold on. So you want to talk about, listen, I actually like this, Joe, because it shows the man lost it. Chris is legend. The legend has lost it. And I said he lost it. All right? So listen, opening week, he got his face kicked in by TCU. I think the score was 48-14. He gets his face kicked in. Then he turns around and he wins a couple of games against the Little Sisters of the Poor. They beat Charlotte at 20-3. Charlotte shouldn't even have a football program. Okay. Then he beats Richmond, another I don't know if that's even a 2A program, right? 41-6. But then he goes back and plays real teams. He plays the big and these aren't big boy programs. UCF kicked his face in 34-6. Then they play Clemson, who right now is terrible. Clemson's playing terrible. This is his arch enemy. He hates Dabo Swinney, hates the coach for Clemson. Wouldn't even go to workouts when he was with the Patriots, pro days. They never went on the Clemson campus. He hated everything about that program. And they go in and they kick your face in North Carolina 38-10. So you're sitting there.
And Debo, he went easy on him too in that second half.
He went easy on him. And listen, you're sitting at 2-3, but you're right. But that's a phony record because the three real teams you've played, you've lost by a combined score of 75, 113, Chris, to 30, 113-30 against the three teams that are halfway decent. Not good, just decent teams. You're getting your face kicked in. The program, Chris, is devoid of talent. He can't recruit because there was also part of an article I read this week, Chris, was saying he was recruiting guys that schools like Liberty are recruiting. He's not going up and recruiting against the big boys. He's not going after, and he's got a ton of NIL money. He's not going after the guys that Clemson are going after, Texas, Alabama. He's not going after those guys. And that's what North Carolina brought him in to do. So when that report says they're looking at buyout strategies for him, I 100% believe that. Because this isn't what this university signed on for, was for this nonsense. You got the girlfriend running around, the practices, running around the campus. It's a joke. The parent, the report said it's a toxic environment. Where have we heard that before? I don't know. We heard that somewhere. And then, Chris, you brought up to me, might have been the other day, you had mentioned something about Mike Lombardi. How bad it is down there with him to play. Everybody hates him down there. I mean, Chris, his legacy is so tarnished. You know what? He should have just sat out a year, went on TV. Maybe you could have gotten a crack at the NFL again. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have, but maybe. After this, he will never coach again, Chris. He's finished. It's tarnished.
Yeah.
Finished. He's over.
I mean, they're talking about, they're discussing buyout options and talking about the members of the coaching staff have already spoken to other schools that are expected to be in the playoff about, taking on roles with them. Then you could see North Carolina trying to position themselves to not have to have the buy because it's like a $20 million buyout.
Sure.
And, now they're talking about recruiting violations that are under investigation, so they can maybe
that's a way to get out of that. Yeah, that's a way to cause, right? And that's a way to get out of the contract.
What do you make of this thing? What do you make of then yesterday? Because we're recording on Thursday. What do you make of last night, Wednesday night? This came out from UNC. It says it's a dual statement from the school that basically says Coach Belichick has the full support of the Department of Athletics and the university, and the Belichick says, I'm fully committed to UNC football and the program we're building here.
What do you make of that? Coffin. That's the nail in the coffin. When a university's making that comment, you're in a lot of trouble. If they're publicly coming out, you're in a lot of trouble. Because
there's no. Well, I mean, they're saying they got his back, but there's no details surrounding that.
They don't got his back. Yeah, they got his back for this year.
And then you're hearing things like this. I mean, you're hearing that on Get Up, that show you like.
Yep.
With Greenberg. This
is going on in Chapel Hill right now.
Brady, first of all, I felt those statements were completely and totally bogus. If you're going to make
Talking about the statements I just read.
make it. Don't just issue a meaningless piece of paper, which is what Belichick did. It feels to me like it is over. And I think his behavior is indicative of that. Not to make too much out of it, but he basically took a week off during the bye week. And he's entitled to have his own private life. We've said that repeatedly here, but I've never heard of a coach in big-time college football to do something like that. Maybe take an afternoon off to play golf during the bye week, but not go on vacation. So to me, he has checked out. The play on the field has checked out. His coaching has been abysmal. And I think Bill Belichick would be wise to walk out now before the humiliation gets any worse.
I think he's on with Stephon Diggs and Cardi B on the boat that week.
Joe, do we got the boat clip, Joe? Joe!
Listen, Mark, he would be better off leaving now.
Yeah.
Because if he goes the whole season, what do I think? I'm sad, man. I'm sad about it all.
This is your guy.
I'm sad about it because he's in the wrong, 1,000%. And you're not going to get from me an apologist for Belichick and trying to make up, I just, you screwed up at 2017-18. We've talked about that a million times by not re-signing Brady and just going out with him, and you've allowed your ego and that to get the better of you to a degree that I've never seen now.
Chris, you're speaking about egos. How about the fact that he told the athletic department, you're not tweeting, or you're not, I tweet, I think it's X now, whatever it is, whatever you put on but you're not putting any social media out about Drake Maye.
Yeah.
And how good he played in the Patriots.
Pettiness. Look, Mark, we knew he was petty, and we've seen that. We've known it. It's horrible. It's a horrible look because now you're talking about kids. You're talking about kids that, the UNC could say, hey, you could become the next Drake Maye. Come here. And what bothers me the most about this is,
and that kid's whole family, Chris, went to North Carolina. The entire family went there.
Right. Yeah, and he could have gone to Alabama.
Yeah.
And he chose to go to there. So my point is, I still think he's the greatest coach ever. I do. Okay, I'm not going to take that away from him. The problem is, I don't know if it's age. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's tired, but he doesn't want to can't put the work in, or won't put the work in that he used to put in to be the best, but expects people to bend the knee. And it's just, and that's sad to watch. It's sad to watch somebody topple that big, to topple the way he's toppling. And, the media in New England, hey, listen, they're coming after him now. They hate him. They've always hated him. He treated them like crap. And so now they're enjoying it. And that pisses me off a little too. Here's how I look at that. Belichick provided us a lot. He provided us a lot of happiness, a lot of good times, a lot of good work. Those media people, I'm wondering how popular if those shows would be number one without the New England Patriots franchise for 20 years. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Every time you show up at Radio Row, your team's typically in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you're relevant. They provided a lot of relevant. They made a lot of people a lot of money, in the media world.
They did.
No,
you're
but
right.
he also treated them like crap.
They do.
The difference is the media now is treating him like crap, but they didn't provide him anything. So my whole point is, look, I'm not going to kick the dog when he's not like you gave me a lot of good memories and a lot of good times in my life with my family, my children, the Patriots, look behind me.
Yeah. That's
not just Brady. So to me, I'm sad for what I see. I don't give him apologists for anything. He's wrong. And the way he's behaving is inappropriate, wrong, and it's killing his legacy. It's killing it. That's what I think.
Yeah. No, good points, Chris. Good points. I agree. I agree with that. It is a sad situation to watch him, deteriorate and crumble to what he's become. And you mentioned,
is he an a-hole? Yeah, he's always been an a-hole. Fine. Okay.
Yeah. You mentioned ego, Chris, and his ego, he actually thought, I think, that these guys in college football, these coaches, they don't know a quarter of what I know. I can roll anybody out on the field and I'm going to beat these teams because I'm just going to outcoach them. They don't know X's and O's like me. Well, guess what? In college football, talent wins, Chris. These guys are paying kids to come. They're doing the recruiting. They're on
this
the
was
trail.
the wrong time for him to do this.
This was the wrong time. 20 years ago, yeah, you could have gotten away with that. You can't get away with that anymore. It's a new era of college football. That's why Saban walked away. It's a totally different culture, a different game. And just because you know X's and O's, you can't put talent on the field. You're never going to win. And so his ego is even, brought that up.
Yeah. So it's a sad state of events for him, his legacy, and let's see how far down it actually goes. Mark, very good tonight on the improv of the Catone comments.
Joe, don't allow that again, Joe. Taking away improv and breaking news. There are my comments.
Breaking news.
So nice job, Mark. Catone's comments was presented by the Pats Nation Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern. With the first pregame show. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to have our Saints breakdown, have the offensive, defensive keys to victory, Drake Maye, Coach's Corner, and so much more. When we come back, Mark's upset right now a little bit, but he's going to be really upset when we come back and talk Yankees versus Red Sox. Stick around.
Sundays are for football. And here in New England, that means it's the Pats Nation with Corso and Catone. Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m.
Back in with more Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. All right. They played each other. The Yankees lasted, they beat the Red Sox in that series, and then the Yankees go ahead and lose to the Blue Jays in the division round. So both teams are out. Let's discuss it. Yankees versus Red Sox. Let's cue Godzilla. All right, Mark. So let's take this first.
And you had made the comment before the postseason started that you thought this was the most talented roster you had ever had here as the manager. Ultimately, why do you think you guys weren't able to get it done this postseason?
Yeah, the ending's the worst, right?
Look at
especially when you know you have a really good group and a group of guys that really came together so well. At the right time, the final couple of months, this was a team, and it's a team that played for one another, did a lot of really good things, and we got beat here. Credit to, the Blue Jays and the year they've had, and they beat us this series. Simple as that. For me personally, but all you go through to kind of become this kind of team you think can really do something special, and for it to abruptly end is always difficult.
Somebody get this clown a box of Kleenex. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
That was Aaron Boone post game after the Yankees got knocked out. Mark, go.
Listen, you want to know why they got knocked out, Aaron? Because going into last night's game in the playoffs, Bellinger was hitting 188. Rice was hitting 167. Grisham was hitting 118. Stanton was hitting, listen to this number, 063.
Stiff.
And Volpe was hitting about 110. That's half your batting order. More than half your batting order.
Grisham was 4 for 29.
Chris.
Leading off.
So that fool is saying that this was the most talented lineup we've had. What the hell is he on? He's delusional. Absolutely delusional. Listen, Chris, we talked all year. We talked about base running, errors, fundamentals, small ball, able to string together hits, not just home runs to score runs. Playing the right combinations, bringing guys off the bench for guys that aren't hitting. Everything we talked about, managerial moves. Is he making the moves, or is it predetermined by the analytics department? Everything we talked about all year, Chris, came to fruition a little bit against the Red Sox, obviously. But all of that came home to roost in this series against Toronto. All of it showed reared its ugly head in this series. All of it.
let's talk about the
It's a seriously flawed team.
The starters against the Jays, okay, in the division round. The starters ERA. You ready for this? The Blue Jays ERA was 0.82, less than a run. Okay, a game. You know what the Yankees was?
What was it?
14. Almost 14 and a half.
And there you go. And there you
That's
go.
the starters ERA. 9 home runs given up by the friggin' Yankees in that series. The series only went what? How many games?
4.
1 home run.
Which was last night they hit. No, they hit 2 the night before. That's before Chisholm and Judge. So they hit 2.
11 and a half runs a game for 4 for the Yankees. How? Listen, I'm not trying to be, but the Blue Jays to me are a trash bag team. I don't even know who half those guys. I don't know who that 70s porn star out in left field. I don't know who he is with that mustache. I don't know who half of these, that fat pig that's sitting behind that's catching behind the duck behind the
shut him off.
Kirk. I don't know what that guy's about. I mean, that guy had a little bit of a pass ball dribble past him, and you don't take the base. Yeah. You don't try to take the base. He can't even bend over. He can't even see his feet anymore. That guy. You're worried about running on him, Mark? This team. Okay, the guy's got to go. I mean, what the hell?
Right, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you something now. I was listening last night late because I didn't sleep last night. I'm listening late, and I'm listening to remarks by Derek Jeter.
Because we're recording on Thursday, and he watched this crap on Wednesday.
Derek Jeter said, "Listen, I don't blame Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone was not hired to make all the decisions." These decisions are being made by others. Some of the decisions he makes. Joe Girardi was his own man. In 2017, he got replaced because they wanted somebody that would listen to the front office and listen to the analytics people, and that wasn't Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi was an old school manager. So Boone is doing exactly what he does what they want him to do. He listens to them.
That's Derek Jeter's former teammate. I love Derek Jeter, but you know what? Don't tell me that. Look at the crap he does during the games, Mark.
Could I finish? Let me finish. I'm not done. So Jeter goes on to say there are others to blame for this. He's dealing with what he was given, is what he's doing. So he can't take all the blame for this. He's taking a shot at Cashman.
Yeah, that's fine.
In other words,
but
Cashman needs to go. Which basically, he didn't say Cashman, didn't mention him by name. But the issue's this, Chris. The issue's this, though, Chris. If they replace Cashman, the person that replaces Cashman is not going to keep Boone. So neither one of them are going anywhere. Because later in after that interview you just played, the next question or 2 questions after that was, do you feel like you're secure for next year in your job? And he kind of laughed. Because he already knows he is. And he said, well, yeah, I'm under contract. So we laughed at them.
You know what? I take exception to what the hell Jeter's saying. I love Derek Jeter, but shut up. Like, shut up down there, wherever he is in Florida. Right. Listen, really, is Cashman and the management? Look, they suck too. They got to go too. I think the owner's a turd, okay, in my opinion. Because if the old man was alive, this dude would have been fired years ago.
If the old man was alive, we'd be sitting in the same position as the Dodgers. So you'd have a lineup like the Dodgers, and it'd be Dodgers-Yankees going for round 2 this year because George Sr. would have made sure of it.
So Steinbrenner Jr., or whatever his name is, he's no different than any of the other stiffs out there now, like Henry and the rest of these guys that just are worried about their bottom line. I get that. I get that some of the stuff's coming from the top. Dominguez batted once in the playoffs. Is that management?
He hit a double into the gap last night, Chris. Double in the gap.
So is that being done from somebody else? Is somebody telling Boone to keep this guy on the bench? Or not play him in center field and put him in left where he's out of position? Then ding him for it and bench him for the playoffs?
Listen, we got a lot more to go through. We're not done with baseball, but we're on the clock, Chris.
That's all right. We can go. We'll go a little couple extra.
We're on the clock. Listen, we got a lot more to go through, Chris. I think we need to do more of a baseball wrap-up next week because you got stuff you want to say about the Red Sox, and you got a couple of clips you want to play because they had their end-of-the-season press conference, and Breslow was spewing a bunch of BS again, just like he did last year. But we're going to have to go through this next week. We're going to have another baseball segment. Obviously, the playoffs are still going on.
Yeah.
But we need to continue this wrap-up of the Dodgers and Red Sox. Yankees, Red Sox, because we didn't even get into the Red Sox. Their foolishness.
Well, we're going to definitely do that because, yes, we got to do a postmortem on both of these teams.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll continue with the Red Sox the Yankees on that. And we'll talk about the Red Sox as well. And we didn't get to the Bruins. The Bruins started their season last night with a 3-1 win in Washington. A very impressive win. Swayman had 35 saves out of 36 shots. He looked good. But there's some things to talk about with the Bruins and what they're going to look like this year and how they're actually going to play hockey, which I think we got kind of a glimpse of. And I want to talk about that next week, too. So a lot more to get to, a lot of stuff for you to come back and see us about. But Corso Catone was presented by the Pats Nation Sundays, 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. As I said, we're going to have that pregame breakdown of the Saints game, Sunday spread, and we're going to make you some money and come back next weekend. We will have the postmortem of these two teams that are out of the playoffs now. We'll talk Bruins, we'll talk Celtics, and of course, we'll talk Patriots, and anything you bring to the table, we will be ready. We are Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. See you next Saturday.
Now find Corso and Catone on AM 790, The Score, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you podcast. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch the chaos every Saturday at noon. Now find Corso and Catone on AM 790, The Score, iHeartRadio, iTunes, wherever you podcast. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel and catch the chaos every Saturday at noon.